When Northern Irish identity is mentioned, typically two groups come to mind: Protestants and Catholics. However, Northern Ireland is moving away from its troubled past with new understanding of identities and beliefs that were shunned in the past. Northern Ireland is becoming a more multicultural, diverse, and an accepting place to live. In this documentary, I will be exploring what identity is. Is it a set of beliefs? Is it a mindset? Or is it something that you grow out of and evolve into a new one? I'll be talking to an Irish nationalist, a former Protestant, and an Iranian Muslim to discover what is identity in Northern Ireland.
Identity to me is a lived experience. It's about belonging. And belonging is about a battle and struggles of everyday life. My soul is a woman. And now being a mother, I've also found that to me mothering is a practice which accounts for more than just a biological connection. It's an experience of nurturing and nourishing and caring, and it's an experience that helps you to reconnect to your very invisible struggles. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to give birth to a child to become a mother. And then I'm a scholar, I'm a teacher, I'm a researcher and a writer. And I see how all these experiences create different layers of my identity and my positionality to other people and other places. And the last but not least, there is this inner mysticism, which is an unshakable piece of me, the connection and relationship to God, the all-knowing, the all-presence, and how I see her existence within and in everything I do. That is the essence of my identity. I'm a Muslim woman, and I've chosen to be. I have asserted my agency in a way I dress and in the way I present myself in the world. And wearing a headscarf is very much part of who I am. And it's a way for me to choose of being visibly a Muslim in a world where being a Muslim is very much stigmatizing, and very much being a woman, you are looked down. I see it as an act of resistance toward a very hegemonic paradigm that wants to define me as a woman, as a Muslim. And I think by taking control in the way I am being seen and getting the agency that I have a say in the way I am being seen, I would like to challenge that very reductive idea of who I am.
I've got multiple identities, coming from a Spanish dad and a Northern Irish mum. And it all depends as well. So I see myself as Northern Irish before anything. Then British actually, and then followed by Spanish. So multiple identities.
So what does it mean to be Northern Irish or British for you, or Spanish?
Well, I mean, it's inherent, it's culture, it's, so grew up in Larne. A lot of conflict in Larne. A granny who, hopefully my parents wouldn't hear this, but she was quite bitter. She was a Protestant, and she believed in the Queen's English and all sorts of stuff like that there. And she married a Catholic. But that kind of influenced me a little bit, especially when I was younger. But it's funny, I'm cognitive of the different cultures of Northern Ireland, which is what I think Northern Ireland is. I think it's mainly made between two different cultures, a Protestant culture and a Catholic culture. And then you've got the rest of the people who just don't care. And I think I identify a bit much more with the people that just don't care. Who cares about Protestantism or Catholicism or what community background you come from? Even though I was brought up as a Protestant.
Would you say that your identity shifted through your life, and like has that made you understand yourself a wee bit better?
Of course, it's shifted. You know, as a kid, you've got basic thoughts and basic ideas. So being brought up as a Protestant, I thought religion mattered. You know, and it wasn't until becoming a teenager that it all looked like bull. You know. Well, my identity, my self-image is a bit more of a geek, I suppose. I'm not the type of person that finds things difficult to start off with, like, so I know events that have been difficult for my friends, but I've just glided right through them, so I have. So yeah, I have. During alarm when I was a teenager, there was a person who was shot at a bonfire, and he was beaten in front of everyone, then shot. And you asked me, that's a disgusting thing to do, because bonfires meant to be like like an event for families and stuff. So yeah, a lot of people were in shock from that, and a lot of people were affected by that.
Following participant of the documentary did not wish to be identified.
My identity, I identify as an Irish nationalist living in the United Kingdom.
What does it mean to be an Irish nationalist for you?
That's a good question. You'll find in Northern Ireland there's two different nationalities, you know, the Unionist tradition and the nationalist tradition. They would identify as being British, I would identify as being Irish, you know, so on the one island of Ireland. But you have Brexit and all that, whatever, but the border in here has caused a lot of trouble from day one. But, you know, everybody's entitled to their own identity. Me, I'm entitled to be Irish, they're entitled to be British. You know, there's no problems with me over that at all. Where you live is part of Belfast. It's a sticky situation. They identify here as Irish. Even they identify as British. Some places you would go to, you would probably have to identify as British. That was in the past, but now I think people here in the north of Ireland and in Belfast especially now, they all know, especially with the Brexit situation, you know, you'll have Protestants now and Irish, you know, Unionists who claim to be British and blah blah, but they're all applying for Irish passports because of the EU and because of Brexit. You know, I have friends that have done it, you know, they've been British all their lives, but if they're going to go on holiday, they've all said, they've all got Irish passports. That's just the way it is, just the nature of the beast, at least.
So identity in Northern Ireland can be a very touchy subject. So would you say that at times your identity, political or otherwise, is taking a hit from living in such a polarised place?
Well, it takes a hit because, again, I mean, we're growing up through the troubles here because of the situation that was here. To identify as being Irish, you were like classed as a second-class citizen by certain people and by certain statutory bodies, and you know, even we were discriminated against. I was a nationalist, were discriminated against, and then even when the first came out, you know, gerrymandering the borders and what have you for the voting and what have you to make sure Unionists get in. But it does take a hit being Irish. You did take a hit, but it's not now. It's starting to change. It doesn't really matter now. You know, anywhere you go to now, you're always going to find people as identifying as Irish.
Identity, along with truth, is subjective. What you think, feel, or believe now may change in the coming years. The concept of identity is one constantly being explored and redefined. There are countless studies into identity, as the notion of identity is an ever-evolving one. As this documentary has shown, identity can mean different things for different people. It can be what you've gone through in your life, what you've experienced has made you who you are, or identity could mean very little, or it could mean everything. It all depends on you.